this program, we pray we pray for our management, principal, and vice principals for their endless support. We pray for the convener, the coordinator, and the participants of this program. At this time, we especially bring our chief guest into thy mighty hands. Let this program be useful to all of us. Lord, you take control over everything, including the internet connectivity. We expect thy presence till the end of the session. Help us to utilize the knowledge we gain for the betterment of our college. We ask all this in the precious name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Jerlyn ma'am. Dear colleagues,
Thank you, ma'am.
as a mark of respect, we, the faculty of St. Thomas College of Arts and Science, shall record our condolence with deep sorrow for the demise of our beloved member, Mrs. J. Kamalabai Victoria, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Shift 1, who expired due to COVID at the age of 31. Mrs. J. Kamalabai Victoria has been an assistant professor for 9 years in our institution. She did her UG and PG in Anna Adarsh College of Arts and Science, Anna Nagar. She won her gold medal in her PG for her outstanding performance. She played a significant role in her teaching profession. She was awarded Best Academician Prize for producing 100% result in her major paper in English literature. She is dearly missed now. So, let us offer our sincere and heartfelt condolences to Mrs. Kamalabai Victoria for her soul to occupy the highest pedestal in heaven, and pray for the bereaved members of her family and to her son, who is just 7 years old. As a mark of respect, we will observe 1 minute of silence for the beloved soul.
Yes, Nisha ma'am.
Sir? Sir, can you hear me?
You can
Yeah,
continue, ma'am. Yes, please.
Uh, Sir, didn't you hear me reading the welcome speech? Okay.
No, Nisha, we couldn't hear you.
Welcome, everyone. I consider it as a great honor to deliver my welcome address today. My hearty welcome to our respected principal, Dr. N. Thangavel, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Angelin Veda, and to my dear colleagues for this live webinar on the process of NAC, Assessment and Preparation. On behalf of St. Thomas College of Arts and Science, I'm profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the chief guest of our day.
hello, madam. 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 Nisha, madam. Sir, nobody voice is audible, sir.
So I think a signal is weak, so she'll be joining.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Nisha ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, please continue, ma'am. Your voice is not audible.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it is okay, but earlier it was not there.
Okay, sir, I'll start from the welcome speech, sir.
Okay.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay, no problem.
Welcome, everyone. I consider it as a great honor to deliver my welcome address today. My hearty welcome to our respected principal, Dr. N. Thangavel, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Angelin Veda, and to my dear colleagues for this live webinar on the process of NAC, Assessment and Preparation. On behalf of St. Thomas College of Arts and Science, I am profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the chief guest of our day. Dr. Angelin Veda is an Associate Dean, IQAC, Associate Professor, PG and Research Department of Chemistry, Bishop Weber College, Trichy. Dr. Angelin Veda has a rich career history to begin with. She is an Associate Dean, Training and Placement from 2017. She is a core member, IQAC from 2002, and a co-mentor, DST Women Scientist from 2017 to 2020 in Bishop Weber College, Trichy. As Dr. Angelin Veda is known for her high achievements, she is honored as a member of Senate, the administrative legislative body of the Bharathidasan University, Trichy, since June 2019. She was recognized by IISER Pune as research-based pedagogy.
Nisha, madam. Nisha, madam. Voice is not audible, madam. I think your line is very weak.
Yeah, it must be so. Good morning, dear
Introduction.
faculty members.
Half of the introduction was over.
Yes, sir.
Half of the
I
introduction.
think
No issues, sir. Good morning, the very good morning, faculty members. Respected principal of St. Thomas College, Chennai. Very delighted to meet you all through this Google
ma'am, just a
platform.
minute.
Without much.
Ma'am, just a minute.
Yes.
Principal will give the presidential address and then you can start, ma'am. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Respected Dr. Angelin Veda, Associate Dean for IQAC, Assistant Professor for the Department of Chemistry, Bishop Weber College, Trichy. Respected Mr. Sibi Matai, IQAC Coordinator, the convener of this program, Mrs. J. Nisha Daphne, and my dear colleagues. And today, we, the IQAC of St. Thomas College, organizes a webinar on the process of NAC assessment and preparations. It is the most relevant topic. Now we are under the process of preparation of NAC. I think for the last 1 year, we are under the same process. We have been preparing for the NAC. I think this webinar would be very useful for all of us. Kindly make use of our session. I think the chief guest will have vast experiences in the field of NAC. So kindly make use of the sessions, and I congratulate the IQAC of our college to organize such a wonderful webinar at these situations. Now we are in the pandemic situation. In the pandemic situation, arranging this kind of webinar would be somewhat difficult comparatively, but even then, with the guest speaker, with the consent of guest speaker, he has organized. Really, it is highly appreciable. And once again, I welcome the guest and congratulate the Shibi Matai. And I appeal to all the faculty members, kindly make use of the sessions. It is the most relevant related to NAC assessment and preparations. What are the various processes involved in the NAC and how the assessment is being done? What are the various documents that we have to prepare? All these kind of things will be discussed in this forum. Kindly make a note of all the points and please you record everything in your heart rather than reports. So once again, I welcome the guest and congratulate the IQS department. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Is my voice audible now?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So shall I proceed by welcoming the guest or not?
Yeah. No,
Thank you,
welcoming
sir.
is over. Welcoming was over
Okay.
already.
Over to
Okay.
You hand over to guest. Let her speak.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, the principal sir and the team of IQAC for inviting me. I am in fact very nervous to jump into the topic. Maybe I'm not very much for all these formalities, so I just intervened. I'm sorry for interrupting the principal. Thank you, sir, and thank you, Nisha, for giving me this opportunity and for inviting me to address on this particular topic. I think my voice is clear and audible.
Yeah. Audible, madam. Audible.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So I've been in Bishop Iber from year 2000. So when I first joined the college as a very young faculty at 24 years, 24, 20, 23. So I was the junior most, and that was the time when our college was also preparing for the first cycle of NAC, like you are doing it now. So I just when I just entered the campus, I was the junior most, and my immediate seniors were all around 10 to 12 years older than me. So they desperately needed someone who can operate the computer, who can send some mails, who can do some technical work for them, and I naturally fitted into the team. And at that point, I learned a lot about what is an institution, what is an organization all about, and what is the reach of an educational institution, and how powerful is the teaching position that we all handle today is. And all these lessons has impacted my career very much. And I'm sure as faculty members of St. Joseph's College, as you're undergoing this process, you will also enjoy it. You will also have a lot of learning, a lot of things to overcome, a lot of obstacles you will cross with ease. And I'm sure when you turn back, you will find that what you have sown today, that you will certainly reap in 4 to 5 years. So this college, as I got to know from your website, is some 21 years old, started in 1999. So I just compared your growth, your stature with some of the colleges in Chennai, which are born very much later than you. There are so many good private colleges and universities which started only after 2010, and they are booming and they are growing very much in Chennai. They have struck a very prominent position in the academic scenario in Chennai. I'm sure having a very long and a good track record in serving academy, serving the community through education. St. Thomas College, with its big mission and vision, will certainly have more to render to the society and a more powerful impact you are going to make in the city in the years to come as you start to go for the quality assurance initiatives through the NAC. I thank you all for taking this particular topic at this particular moment. Because whatever you say about NAC and whatever you say about accreditation and assessment, all these things need some time when you can sit back, think relaxed, and take some important decisions for your institution. So this is the right moment, and this is a very good moment, and I can even say it's a blessing in disguise for you that your institution is now able to spend a lot of time pausing all the other academic activities and just think and focus only about the institution. Yeah, so I'm sure you are all aware of the NAC process, and I came to know from Nisha that Ms. Nisha, that you have already been given a lot of inputs through the Paramarsh program, and all your faculty members have information about the NAC process. Now, where should the NAC process begin, right? So today's talk, I will be answering I have divided into three components. What is actually the process, and how can a college actually prepare for it? Okay, so is it going to just start with some IQAC, some faculty sensitization? Where should we start the process of preparation from? And the third important thing is, what should a institution like St. Thomas College do before going for preparation? I have in fact prepared some checklists that will be useful for your principal, the IQAC, as well as for all the staff members to just take a note of and find out whether these things have been completed, and then you can proceed for the assessment process. I also want to keep this talk as much interactive as possible. So I just want some input from participants, whether the pace in which I deliver the content, my voice, the speed, everything is okay for you, or should I slow down or speed up? Can I have some feedback? Any one of the participants, can you just unmute and just tell me, or would you prefer to be in the same speed?
Yes, it's fine, ma'am. You can proceed. You can go ahead.
Because this is the problem with Google Meet. I'm not able to see who is talking. Is it?
Actually,
Yes, sir.
yeah, you can go ahead, ma'am. It's fine.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I would encourage all the participants to stop and pause and ask questions in between. And as faculty members, we all know that the NAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, is a autonomous body. And this autonomous body was instituted in 1994. And till now, okay, from 1994 till 2019-20, they have almost accredited some 12,000 and odd colleges all over India, and many universities as well. Now, if you look at the graphs that I have just portrayed before you, you'll be able to find that the NAC, has accredited some, 857 colleges across India from 2017 to 19 alone. And you find the some 850 out of the 857 colleges that were accredited. Most of them, almost 33% of the colleges are getting at least a decent B grade. And hope you know what is a B grade mean. B grade, uh, a B grade for colleges is something, is not a very bad score. Okay, so a B, B plus, B plus plus, A plus, and A plus plus are the scores that they are giving. So B and above is something good. Any accreditation is a good accreditation. It doesn't mean that any college that enters into the assessment process should always have an A plus plus in the first step itself. Like there are, if you find the graph, if you look at the graph, you will find that most of the colleges have only a B. And subsequent steps, the cycle 2, cycle 3, they slowly progress and move to the better scores. Now, you find the number of colleges all over the country which have a plus and A plus plus are very less. Okay, so and these graphs are reflective of the quality that our country's quality of education that a country is offering. So maybe the colleges with a B score have some important quality pointers. They are satisfying some quality pointers. That is why they are giving.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Angelin ma'am, are you there? Angelin ma'am? She, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Did you check with her? Yeah, she has joined.
She
Yeah,
is
I'm
in, sir.
sorry.
She is in.
I'm sorry. That the good thing about the online mode of transfer is it will get disconnected rightly when you want to make a point. Okay, sorry for that.
Yeah, no problem, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I was talking to you about the grades. A B grade. These B grade is something a decent grade, not a very bad scores. Don't take it as if like no, always like we tell our children to get only 100 out of 100 in your examination. All institutions have their own hurdles to cross with, and so this process is only an self-evaluative process, and so we don't have to worry about the scores. B accreditation itself shows a institution has some primary quality indicators that are essential for an institutions to grow. So most of 33% of the institutions are there in B, and you find only 3% of the colleges go to the A plus and A plus plus. So if you envy for A and A plus plus, I'm sure you have to work for that. And before you proceed with any of these accreditation process, you must have registered in the iShape portal. I think you have finished that step.
Yes, we have already registered.
Yes, yes. So now you're ready for your submission. So how do they go about the first step? I think all teachers know this IIQA. What is this IIQA? Institution Information Quality Assessment. So this is some preliminary data that you give about your institution. So once you submit your IAQA, they will compare the data that you have given to the iShape, because iShape is part of the MHRD. And this process is IAQA SSR submission is in the NAC portal. The NAC is an autonomous body, and MHRD, I think you know, is under the Government of India. So they will just compare and see whether the data given or collating or the data given or correct, and then they approve or permit you to go to the second step. So within 45 days of filling up your IIQA, the SSR portal will be open. Now, what is this SSR? This is a self-study report. Okay. So this is a report that you submit after you analyze, you self-evaluate yourself and submit it. And you have 45 days to do this self-study report, complete the filling up of all the details in the SSR. And suppose there is some pandemic or flood or some unexpected situation, you can ask for 15 more days with the issues management system. So there is a system for that in the NAC. And so 45 plus 15 at the most, you have 2 months in your hand to complete the filling up of the SSR. You can do it. And then once we fill up this, in another 15 to 30 days, they start this DVV. Now, what is this DVV? This is where the whole assessment process is different from the earlier assessment processes. And, these earlier assessment processes were not completely digitalized. And now why people are worrying about this NAC, because even the colleges which have gone for fourth cycle or colleges which have completed the third cycle, they are, they are really scared, because the whole process is, verified by a digital validation and data validation and verification partner. So this is a corporate agency, a third party, to which NAC has completely given the job of verifying our data. So earlier what we used to do, I remember in the year 2000 and all, what we used to do, we will download the manual. There are some questions, answers. We will create some data, write some essays. Maybe I remember writing some 500 words, 2 pages, 3 pages for each and every question, with photographs and data and colored pictures, and make it so, make the report look very colorful and beautiful. We prepare bound volumes, and we take 7 to 8 bound volumes to the NAC and submit it. And that report incidentally does not have any evidences. 1 or 2 evidences which we choose to submit, we submit to the NAC. But now what has happened, the DVV partner or the corporate agency is now going to ask you to submit every evidence for every question that you have for the purpose of verification to them. If they want to check all the data evidences, they will check. or sometimes they will randomly pull up some numbers and names and ask you to submit. So it can be any way around. So all evidences for any detail that you give to the NAC goes to the hands of the DVV. So the data validation and verification process. And after the DVV is over, they generate a score. Okay. So this score, if the score is below 25%, no, if the system generates a score which is below 25% of the total score, then the institution is not permitted to go for further accreditation. Then you start from the beginning. So this is something very, very, very difficult for most of the institutions, which are not maintaining transparency and which are not maintaining accountability. I'm sure as Christian institutions, we are all following a good system, and there is a bit of more autonomy and transparency in the management. So we don't have to worry about all these things unless there is major manipulations. We don't have to worry about any of this DVV process. And so once the DVV is over, simultaneously as they do the data verification, they will also do a student satisfaction survey. So for this satisfaction survey, you may have to submit details of about 50% of your students, and sometimes they may ask more than stop with more than 100, or they may ask you to submit details of 50% of the students. So, and it will contain 20 multiple choice questions and one subjective questions where the students are requested to write something about the institution. So this also threatens some of the institutions which are very student unfriendly. So see that, I'm sure we won't be like that in Christian institutions. They are always friendly and pro students. So this is also a mandatory process, and once this and DVV go simultaneously together, almost 30 to maximum of 90 days colleges have got the visit. So maximum of 3 months from the DVV is over, pre-qualifier score is generated, maximum of 3 months, minimum of 30 days, you will have the pure team visiting your institution. So totally, if you calculate the schedule, if everything goes on fine without any delay, so 1.5 months for your IIQ, 1.5 months for IIQA to SSR, and then another 30 days or some 60 days, so 3 months, and some student satisfaction survey and visit, that will take another maximum 2 to 3 months. So within 6 months, the whole assessment process is over. Once you enter in, the day you get your grade, there will be a maximum of 6 months within which all the process is over. So it is not like those days. So we submit, then the committee comes later. So what happened in our case, we submitted for up to 2015 for the third cycle, and the committee came only in 2017 January. So 1.5 years were lost in our accreditation. So we again prepared another report compiling all the 2-year data, and we added it to the assessment period, and that was also accepted. So it was actually a double work for us. So this was the earlier procedure. So it was like taking lot of time, 1.5 years to 2 years. Now it is very quick, very simple, and very easy. Now, as we know, this process is like this. There are also some glitches in this revised accreditation framework, which they call it as RAF 2017, right? So all the institutions which go for accreditation after 2017 may have to face this. So all details and evidences that you submit to the NAC should also be kept visible for the public in the website. So there is nothing to be hidden here. So no information can be hidden. So institutions need not worry about it. So all data, all information that you are supposed to provide should be kept on the website. So website ke nama kudukano அப்படிங்கும்போது fellow teachersக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும், managementக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். அது வந்து body, the government, everybody in the government body should be knowing, governing body should be knowing, The principal should be knowing, the principal will be doing the presentation when the NAC comes to the campus. So every detail should be known to the alumni, the students, the teachers, the parents, everybody knows it. So nothing to be hidden here. So have this in mind very clearly. And NAC expects this openness on the part of the institution. It is not something very difficult to do, because colleges like Bishop Iba, colleges like St. Joseph's, or in many colleges in Kerala, who are predecessors for you. They can very well help you. They can very well support your process, and this is not a very very difficult process at all. So initially, when you start all these, assessment preparation, you will have, okay, this data should not go out, that data should not go out, this number should not. No, that's all not needed. So all information should be known by every faculty in the college. What is the number of clubs you have? How many students have registered in each club? How many students are there in the campus? How many students have been admitted? What is the number of applications we received this year? How many students were admitted? All the information should be known by all faculty members at any point of time. So there is no compromise on public transparency of data. Right. So the pre-qualifier score, student satisfaction survey, all that I have already told you about. So I'll just take a small pause here, and I take one or two opinions or questions from you, and then I will proceed to the next one. So what is the total number of teachers in your institution, sir?
130, ma'am. Including both shift 1 and shift 2.
Shift 2. Okay, shift 1 and shift 2, and that is 130. Okay, fair, fine. That's a pretty good number to work for NAC. So you have enough manpower for that, no issues. What is your student strength?
It is around 5,000.
Can some other faculty just tell me what is your student strength?
Nearly 5,000.
5,000. Okay, so it should not be 5,000. It should be exactly some number. So our college has got 531 faculty members, 13,357 students this year. So that should be the detail number every teacher should know. So write these numbers in a board. Write all numbers. Every teacher should repeat all the numbers all the time. So these are some cultures that the NAC, IQAC, and the management should start practicing before you start all the process. Okay, so these are some of the glitches, and that is why some of the institutions are worrying about how to keep our data and how to keep our work publicly. But that's not a big issue, and we were also very apprehensive of this particular issue, but now we are used to. Now even our office staff and a peon and even the watchman knows everything should be documented. Even somebody enters in the campus, the watchman knows the signature of the entrant should be taken, and that is an important data for the institution. So everybody knows the importance of data in the campus now. So we have developed that culture because we are doing it again and again, and slowly I'm sure you will also be able to enter into this. And as far as this NAC is concerned, you have this qualitative as well as quantitative data, all of which I'm sure your mentor institution has already told you. This process of accreditation, see here, the CGPA that is generated this way, it comprises of your data, and that system generated score based on your SSR, as well as the student satisfaction survey, as well as the pure team visit. So all the three components together are given due weightage, and based on that weightage, they develop the CGPA. So this CGPA is also developed based on a computer generated score. So the pure team gives some number, the student satisfaction survey, that is going to give some numbers. These two numbers are integrated in the program, just fed into the program, and the program automatically takes and calculates the CGPA. So in the calculation of CGPA as well, there is no human intervention, there is no purchase of grades, purchase of scores like earlier years. So that kind of a transparent setup the institution has got it, NAC has got it, so it should be highly appreciated. And we can go without any hesitation. And I'm sure you all know there are 7 criteria, 32 key indicators for colleges like you, affiliated colleges, and there are more number of key indicators for us, autonomous institutions. And in the key indicators, you have qualitative and quantitative matrices. So I think you know these 7 criteria already. Do you have groups working for these 7 criteria?
Yes, ma'am. We have started.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So there are coordinators, representatives for each criteria, and each criteria leader should be working on some key indicators. And there are 32 key indicators, 36 qualitative, and 60 quantitative matrices. Totally, only for 96 questions you are going to answer. So you're going to give reports for only 96 questions. So your college strength is 130. So 130 teachers have to work together for roughly 100 questions. 96 questions, that's all. One question per teacher makes it all. That's it. So that's a wonderful way you can completely work for it. So it's not a very, very difficult job. It is of course a cumbersome process. And having gone through the ISO 9001, I don't think this will be a very difficult job for your institution. Now, if you look at the 7 criteria, you will find some criteria are given very high importance, like your teaching, learning, and student progression, especially, student support and progression, that is how much of stipends they receive. What is the composition of your student community? How many of them are from disadvantaged society, sections of the society? What are the degrees or the jobs to which they progress? All these things are given the highest weightage. So 130 plus 350 together, you have 480. This is some, 480, nearly 500. That is that 50% of all the work that you have to do. Am I in line? Yeah. So if you are working for these two, automatically you will be able to reach to the good scores. So no issues. So if you have a good teaching, learning, evaluation system in your institution, and if you have enough student support, focus on these two, more than 50% automatically you can get. Okay, so let's go for some opinions from you. So is this accreditation process necessary? What do you think? So just want to get your collective opinions here before proceeding. I don't want to deliver a mundane lecture, putting everybody else on silence. So I just request you all to, here I have 70 people, 75 people joining. So I request you to kindly go to your mobiles or your devices, open Menti, MENTI, menti.com in Google, and type in this game pin 833942440. Menti, MENTI 833942440, and just share in your opinions there. I'll put the link Menti. So I think you are using all these things in your classrooms. Some of you may be using these online quiz and mobile platforms. So this is the pin and MENTI, menti.com. Okay, so can you just join in? So I'm waiting for you to join here. So menti.com 833. I'm sorry, 833. I think I have wrongly posted the number. 833-94240. Is that the number I have posted? Yeah, yes. So just wait for a moment for you to just type in. There is no point in just delivering a lecture and going. I strongly believe unless something goes, and there is no point in spending time your institution investing on something and coming together, so better please join and post your opinions there. Are you able to join? Don't worry, I will not be able to see your names, so you can just join. Your names are not revealed here. One person has joined. Just an yes or no. Two of you have joined. Thank you. Eight people in. So please do try. I want to hear all your collective voices.
Code number.
Code number is 8339-4240.
Eight 40
8339 8339
339
4240, sir.
4240. Thank you.
4240.
Thank you. Okay.
Fifteen people have joined. So I'll wait for some more to join. If you have any technical glitches, kindly let us know. Just go to the Google Chrome and just put mentimeter.com or menti.com. You will go, you will be led to a web page where you have to type in the game code. You say play, you will be into this. Yeah, 25 people here. 23 people here. So I'm leaving this link open. Kindly do voice in your opinions, okay? So I'll just go to the next question in Menti. Yeah. So I think you're able to do the next question as well. Anybody have completed both the questions? I have given 2 questions there. What are some
Yes,
of
ma'am.
the
We have
strengths of
completed.
yeah, 9 people have completed 2. Yeah, what are some of the strengths of St. Thomas College management? We think about innovation. We always work together. Good teamwork, creative students, good facilities, compassion, very good, equality of respect, well-trained staff. Students are our strength. You have a good environment. You have committed faculty members, and you have very good education infrastructure. Yeah, I saw in the website your auditorium is looking very awesome. The college environment looks more green and beautiful. Internal strategic factor, I don't understand what is that. So somebody has said working in harmony, that's something fantastic. And the support of the management, that's very very important. And you're lying at the heart of the city. Somebody has told that the heart of the city, presence in the heart of the city is something very important, very very cutting edge. You have no, we are a college, we are present in the rural edge of the city. So all the villages to Trichy connect through a road called Vailu Road, and our institution is in that particular village road. So we are not in the heart of the city. We are in a 3-tier city, and if and you are in the capital city, and so this is certainly a great strength. And I could see that wonderful things you are all sharing. So I'll be happy if more people can join. 25 people have joined in. I think all the 25 are from IQAC team, very keenly listening the talk. And if there are people outside IQAC as well, I thank you all for joining. Yes. So, and surprisingly, sir, to the principal sir's surprise, this is the first college I see giving me that answer as yes, only yes. All the 27 who have answered, all of them have said NAC accreditation is essential for quality improvement, and they have said, all of them have said yes. So I think there is no struggle for your institution to work. Everybody feels it is important, it is necessary. So I think this session is not at all necessary for you. We can wind up the session, Nisha. The task is finished.
Sorry, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am. You want to wind up the session?
No. I was just kidding. I was just telling everybody knows that it is very necessary, and they feel it is very important, and they are very much oriented. So you don't have any problem in going for the NAC accreditation. So my support is going to be not needed for your institution, I think. Anyhow, I'll just proceed to the next part. So this is what I wanted to tell you about, this NAC accreditation. What is the ANA process? And your opinion is very, very important because, unless the whole institution feels it's necessary, it is very, very difficult to undergo the process. So, I'll tell you, when we go for accreditation, automatically we will do a self-evaluation and improvement. And that is the point of time the teachers become more demanding. Teachers should become more demanding on the management. Why don't you give us this infrastructure? Why don't you give this facility? Why don't you make us why don't you create some new posts? Why not deanery? Why not a coordinator for this? Why not a committee for this? So teachers become more demanding, more productive. Teachers become more of work conscious. And at the same time the management also becomes more stronger in its governance. So the management, because the more you are productive, you are going to give more life to your campus, and your students are going to feel the life, and it is going to impact the student community, and it is certainly going to reflect on good governance. So it is slowly going to become a good factor which is going to add to the stability of your whole college. So there will always be negative factors in any institution. No institution goes for NAC accreditation without a hurdle. Every institution has its own handicap. But along with those handicaps, there are some sufficient support systems which we can use. And this is the point of time where we can all feel a collectivism in the campus, a feeling of oneness in the campus. So the management as well as the teaching community should at this time use this opportunity profitably and use that momentum to take the institution to a greater height. So if we don't participate, if either the management or the teachers or a part of the teachers or a part of the students do not participate in full strength, it is automatically going to be a very, very difficult process and a very, very difficult scenario. So, why do you think this accreditation is important? Is another part of the coin is that out of the 12,000 plus institutions, colleges that were accredited from 1994, and if you take this last 1 year, 2018 to 19, there is a quick surge in the number of colleges which are going for accreditation. That is 2018 to 19, you find 834 colleges, and of this 430 to 50% of the colleges are hurrying for this accreditation process. So all the engineering colleges, all the private organizations, they are hurrying to get their accreditations done as soon as possible, and so that is reflected in the figures. So and in the first cycle you find 29 colleges from Tamil Nadu. All the out of the 432, in this 1 year, 29 colleges went for the cycle 1 accreditation. So you now understand no how colleges are hurrying to go for the accreditation process. So all the private colleges which are whose mottos are only to make profit. So these profit based colleges are also running the same race with us. And I am sure the motto, the vision and mission of your college clearly reveals that you are serving and you are less focused on the profit. So you're competing with institutions which are only for profit. So in this particular race, you find you have to take a good place in accreditation. And the research assessment wing, research wing of the NAC, they say that of the 29 colleges that went in for cyclone accreditation from Tamil Nadu, I can name some of the colleges which are very, very new colleges, small colleges. Nobody knows where these colleges are. I have never heard about these institutions. Islamia College, Annai Fatima College, Shanmuga College, Chikannagiri Women's College, Edayatungad, YGS Pillai Arts and Science College. Any of you know these colleges well? Any of you in this group know any of the 5 college names I read? So these are some of the colleges that went in for this 2018-19 accreditation, and most of them got either a B or an A. So there is nothing to fear about this. The process, even very, very small institutions with no infrastructure, no proper system, even those institutions are able to run the race and come out with better scores. I am sure St. Thomas will be able to get very good scores if you work very focusedly. And why most of the institutions do not participate? It is only because of the raw data, that is the research analysis wing of the NAC says 20% of the institutions fear low grades. Only because of the fear for low grades, they are not participating in the assessment process. So check out all our fears. Let's check out all our fear and just enter in with courage, confidence, and with the grace of God. I am sure St. Thomas College will also be able to come out with beautiful numbers, scores. Right. So, shall I proceed to the next part of my talk? So, I have completed one part. So, how long can I take? So, how much more time can I take?
11:30, ma'am. Till 11:30.
Okay, half an hour. Okay, half an hour. Okay. So, now what happens, So, why are these colleges hurrying? It's all because the government is now asking all colleges and universities, whether you are affiliated or private, or you are autonomous, or you are deemed university, whatever category of institution you are, whether you are a teacher education institution, or a pharmacy college, or a nursing college, or whatever institution, hotel management college, whatever it is, come for the accreditation. And the Andhra Pradesh government, Karnataka government, all of them have made this accreditation a mandatory one. And the Andhra government has said within 6 years of inception of the college, from the day of your establishment, within 6 years, every institution should have got your accreditation. So without much delay, I invite you all, invite St. Thomas College to quickly go for this process without much delay, because no sooner the central government as well as the state governments are going to make it mandatory. Okay. So because I am running short of the time, I have only half an hour more. I'm not going to go for these key indicators. Maybe your IQAC coordinators may tell you some importance of these key indicators. See, every criteria has some key indicator, and you have to focus on these key indicators in order to get the scores. So let me quickly go to the opinion 2 from you. And now I'm not going to run any Menti. Just tell me, what NAC score do you want St. Thomas College to acquire in cycle 1? So you can just type in your answers in the chat. So what do you think? What score do you think? I'm not asking you to tell me what score you think St. Thomas College will get. I'm just asking you to tell me what scores you want the college to get. If you type in the chat, it will be very encouraging. What score you can say grades or scores. Okay, so if you want 3.5, 3.2, or you want A plus or B, A. Okay, okay. Only 2 people has given A. I don't. Why there are 77 people here? Why don't you just type in your expectation where you want your call? Wow, very good. Ilayaraja, Dr. Ilayaraja wants A plus. Dr. Ginny Ben wants A plus. Yeah, all of them aim for A and A plus. Dr. Mala wants A plus. Fantastic, fantastic. Everybody wants A. Very good. I think all of you should just type in at least what you want your college to be. At least all 77 of you, A plus plus. Dr. Santanam wants A plus plus. Great, great. You are aiming very high for your institution. See, people are very much motivated and they want it for their institution. I'm sure Dr. Arun Prasad also wants an A plus plus. Dr. Nisha wants an A plus plus. and where people have the vision, and God will certainly enable you to accomplish your vision. Dr. Venkatesan wants an A++. I'm not able to see your principal typing in, sir. What do you expect your institution to have, sir? Can I ask you, sir? I'm sorry. Because I strongly believe as leaders, you will have the real, vibe and real enthusiasm. I think he's not there. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So most of you want an A+, I'm sure. You will be able to get an A+ very easily. So for you to get an A+, what you can do. So that's what is my next focus. So my next focus now, let me keep this part, apart, because if you want an A or A+, certainly it's going to be a teamwork. IQAC alone will not be able to do anything on their own. If you want to leave the whole scenario to the IQAC, and at the most the IQAC can get you a B, and you can never put your fingers on IQAC later for the low scores. So if you want A, join hands, and later you will also have the pride and joy of working and bringing your institution up. And let me keep this part later, and let me come to this, as it is a teamwork. Where should you start? When should you start your NAC process? If you want an A, I certainly expected that you will always say an A or A+. And if you want an A or A+, you have to start from a holistic idea. You have to think from the college as a whole. You cannot start from just simply the questions. Okay, there are 96 questions, quantitative and qualitative methods. So why don't we look at those 96 questions, start answering those 96 questions, create some data, evidences, some scripts for each of them? No, that is not the way. If you do that way, you will be surprised to see that most of the questions you will have no report, no data at all. So you have to have a holistic approach. You have to think big. The whole college should sit together, think, brainstorm, and discuss openly. What shall we do? The whole, a big team, not just the IQAC 40 members, equally represented a bigger group. They have to seniors, juniors, represented a well-represented group should all sit together, think what can we do once we are stepping into the NAC process, and then sensitize the whole college, starting from the so everybody should be talking about, that should be a fever of preparations that should happen in the campus, and create a system in place for everything. Okay, so from the day one you think of NAC, you create a system for everything. There should be complete protocols for everything. Develop small protocols and keep those protocols effective, and start documenting everything that you do. Everything, starting from your class, the recordings, everything has to be documented. As and when you do it, you have to document everything. So unless you start from a holistic approach, you will not be able to get good scores. Okay, I would suggest, okay, unless you complete these 7 things, okay, don't go for IIQA or SSR preparation. As you are aiming for A and A+, and unless you do all these 7 things within the implement these 7 things and run them for at least 3 to 4 years, don't go for NAC submission. This is my own opinion. You can have your own. Your IQAC and your management can decide based upon your committee's suggestions and recommendations. Number 1, do you have a feedback mechanism and actions taken based on the feedback from 4 stakeholders: students, parents, teachers, and alumni? So all the 4 sections of the stakeholders should be having a voice. So a feedback mechanism should be first of all developed, and there should be some action taken upon. Why I start with the feedback? That will open up a big Pandora's box. Most of the institutions, I don't know if I am very hitting very hard or I am repeating something, because I'm not able to get any information from your side. I'm just airing my opinion, but out of my experience and out of my support that I have rendered to 2 3 colleges in and around Trichy and other areas, I have just found out that we have to start first of all with feedback, because only when we start with the feedback we really know where are our blind spots. There are some open areas where teachers can find out clearly. These are some areas which we have to start working immediately. These are some weaknesses that we have to work immediately. These are Am I in the link when I got disconnected?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you now. Ma'am?
At what point my network got
Ejli
disconnected?
ma'am, can
What I was, yeah, what I was telling,
see, you were talking about feedback, ma'am, the importance
yeah,
of feedback.
yes, yeah, yeah. So feedback is something that is very, very essential. So that will certainly open up your Pandora's box. Some unpleasant notes we may have to hear. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So unless you start here, you will not be able to know your blind spots. So understanding your blind spot is very, very good. So if you know some of the blind spot which you can, some are blind spots which are very easily workable. When it is brought to the notice of the management as well as the teachers as well as the students, immediately actions will be taken. And there will be an environment where you are proceeding. That is the point where we will be starting for growth. A growth mindset sets in only then. I remember way back in 2000 when we just started to started all this NAC process. Our then principal in charge, Dr. Jayaka Chelra, just called all the faculty members to the multi-purpose auditorium, and just distributed papers and asked us to write what we have to change in our college, what immediately we have to do. I remember getting some very, very funny as well as very, very unimportant things from the feedback. Some, without writing names, people gave so many things. Some were asking for water facility in the campus, some more toilets in the campus. So these are small and minor things. Let these small and minor things come out, so that let it be eased out, let it be broken out. Once if it is openly shared, discussed, once it comes to the air, then you will have the real issues coming out. Unless you open the small nozzle, you will not be able to, and let in the air come out first, you will not be able to let in the real juice come out of the pack. So the same way, first start with feedback. This is my suggestion. Start with students feedback, parents feedback, document it. And now it is very, very easy to get the feedback. Create Google Forms, just circulate it. No need to get their names. You can just circulate it, get it. Try to work on what are the areas. Maybe some feedbacks are really foolish and they are not contributing anything to the development, but let them just come in. Then number two is you will be having you must be had though you, because you are an affiliated institution, you don't have more flexibility to do or more options to show your credibility in the academic area. So you must be having some enrichment courses or add-on courses apart from the regular courses. Am I in the link?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I'll be very happy if I can get some voices from the participants as well. Maybe they will interact during the discussion time. and add-on courses, enrichment courses, some enrichment programs apart from what the university mandates you to offer to the students. There are so much opportunities for you to do it. You have a media center, like a electronic media degree, visual communication. You have you have some psychology people there. You can offer courses across the campus. You can offer some courses for everybody in the campus to take. Some interesting some interesting components you can offer. Corporate secretaryship is there. So some of the departments can take the lead and offer some. You should show some innovation in curriculum part, and this has to be run for 2 to 3 years. I don't know whether you are doing it now or not. As far as your prospectus is concerned, it's not giving enough details about that. So add-on courses, add-on programs, value addition courses, after the class hours, outside the program, you have to have something and implement it for 2 to 3 years. And evaluation reforms, I'm sure this is something very very impossible for you, because you only do this internal evaluation. So inside the internal evaluation, what is the innovation you are able to make, what are the reforms you are going to make, how you are going to make the evaluation pattern more student centric and learner centric. So do something on the evaluation and document it for 2 to 3 years, and then you can go. And the fourth major thing is document student centric teaching methods. Suppose you're going for online, what is the protocols you're adopting, what is the procedures you're adopting? Do all students you want all the classes to go completely synchronous, asynchronous, or you want some of the courses to be synchronous as well as asynchronous, some courses coming into the campus for 1 or 2 classes, so like that, a blended kind of a program. So what is the mode of your teaching? So here there is complete autonomy to the college, so use that autonomy and run some innovations for 2 to 3 years at least in the teaching methods, document it for 2 to 3 years. And number 5, extension is very very important. This is going to give you prominence and distinctness in the whole Chennai city. So use it as a very good opportunity. This is that I saw you are having vaccination drives in the campus. So let your vaccination camps be widely visible to the public through social media. Use students who are very very innovative. I think Chennai students are very media very digi savvy, and they will be able to take your institutions across several boundaries. Okay, so across countries, across nations, they will create a distinctiveness for an institution. Your institution will automatically get visibility if you focus more on extension. And here you don't have to worry much on funds, because you can always use crowdfunding. You can also use mechanisms by which you can collect support from film stars or somebody in your city. So this is some area where you don't have to spend much from your pocket, because you have a human resource that is more than sufficient. And with this we can make this extension, the credibility of the institution widely reached to most of the colleges around Chennai. Now, when we started our NAC accreditation process in 2002, our college did not have a very good extension wing. There was an NSS and an NCC and some sports people doing some sports activities. So it was very bleak. There was no system here. Now, after we crossed the second cycle, we had nearly 17 to 18 clubs apart from NSS, NCC, NCC Air Wing, NCC Navy, NCC Air Wing, and then you have your Red Cross, you have these, Red Ribbon, all those clubs, some 17 clubs. And now today we are now 37 clubs, and all these 37 clubs have adopted some 17 to 18 villages around the colleges, and all the villages know that the students from Bishop Iba come here for so many social welfare activities, and they enjoy the presence of our students in their villages as well. So this has given us a very good prominence, and students from those villages rush to Bishop Heber first for admission. So our admissions are also, the demand ratios are also increasing year by year. So if you focus on extension, you don't have to worry about your admission at all. Then you must be having some targets and year plans which are clearly stated by every department, every committee, every deanery, for every year, goals and plans and targets, and for 3 years what are the plans and plans to be accomplished. So am I in the link? So once you
Yes,
have,
ma'am.
yeah, thank you. So once you have these things in on your side ready, then you can also focus on the program outcomes attainment, which is mandatory part in your NAC accreditation. So curricular aspects, they say you must write the program outcomes, course outcomes, calculate the attainment. All these are some routine steps which you any college can do. So once these 6 things are done, the seventh step will fall automatically in place. People will be able to understand the vision, mission of the institution. What is the vision? What is the learning outcome they should expect from every course? What should be the program outcome from every course? What should be the holistic development that you are aiming from every student? So based on that, they will automatically understand what is the program outcome, program specific outcome, all those things. So I will say that you should start the feedback first, and focus on the curricular aspects last. Without going through all these steps, if you simply start budging teachers to create POs, right, learning outcome, right, SLO, right, PO, PSO, they will copy from multiple institutions and create one hybrid variety, which is not at all focusing on your institution, and which is not at all for your which will not at all speak your institution's original values and core spirit. So please go from the inverse. This is my suggestion, and to the IQAC and for everybody joining here. So I will shortly pause here and take some voices from your end. Then I will go, because I'm already into 11:30. I don't want to exceed my time. I'm sure if you allow me to talk, I'll be talking for another 1 hour. Let me stop here, take some questions, and as and when I answer questions, I will try to cover the rest of my topics. Sorry. Participants can unmute and directly ask questions. I'll be very happy to hear your voices. And I'm sure you're all learned people. You have really valid things to share with the group. Um, you can unmute and speak.
Ma'am, this is Nisha from Department of English. Ma'am, for English literature, what type of courses we can make them to proceed with, ma'am? Can we invite the students from outside, or first of all, we have to start within our campus?
Yes, first you give courses to your students, which will, the courses like which can be audited by any students across the discipline. It can be spoken English, journalism. It can be article writing.
Ma'am, uh, you're not audible now. Angel ma'am.
Ma'am, it's not audible, ma'am. Sir, any technical issues, sir? Should be, sir?
Yes, sir. She will rejoin now.
Nisha, ma'am.
She will be rejoining now.
Okay.
You can just post your questions if you have any to ma'am.
Be inside within seconds, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm waiting for questions actually.
Okay, ma'am. As you said, we can. Here is a question for you from Assistant Professor Muruganandam, sir. It's in the chat box, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you just read it for me? I'm trying to connect.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What kind of activities you are doing after adapting a school like Viscom? He is from Viscom department. He's asking what kind of activities you are doing after adapting a school.
Actually, sir, we don't have a, Viscom department so far. Only last year we started a Viscom department. But all students, irrespective of their degree, they are supposed to spend 30 hours in the adopted villages along with any one of the extension projects. So they can go for screening night plays, street plays, or they can join with some of the clubs in doing some social sensitization programs or social awareness programs, or they can do anything along with the clubs. So any student, whether it is a Viscom student or a student from any other degree, they will be part of the 37 clubs that we have in the campus, and it's mandatory for them to spend 30 hours in the adopted villages in any one of the projects in the first year and in the second year. So third year they are free to do only their major programs. So that way all students involved in the adopted villages. Say for
Thank you,
example,
ma'am.
Red Ribbon Club or the Blood Donation Club conducts blood donation camps in the villages, and they sometimes
And,
bring people here from those villages.
can I ask the question?
Yes, yes, please.
Can I ask the question, ma'am? This is Nagarajan.
Yes, sir. Please, sir. Proceed, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. We have a lot of plan in commerce because we have nearly 1,200 students in each academic year related to commerce course,
Okay,
ma'am. So we just want to introduce like a lot of diploma course like diploma in financial accounting, diploma in income tax, and diploma in this GST. So for
Okay.
this, should we get the approval from the university, ma'am, for issuing like degree the diploma certificates, for issuing the diploma certificates.
So, for diploma and certificate programs, certainly you have to get the approval from the university. But it is not a very difficult process. You can always apply and get it. If it is not possible, you can simply run add-on courses, value added courses for just 30 hours and issue your own certificate, not naming it as a diploma or a certificate program. You can just call it as a value addition program or a add-on course or a value added course for your own students. So the university does not say anything when you offer such courses for your own students.
But it
So
won't
like
be
you
helpful
have
for
a
students, ma'am.
yes,
But
sir.
if it is approved by the university in the sense, in case of they are going for a job, so in the job market, and they used to check the whether that add-on course, that diploma means diploma approved by university in the sense it has a valid, ma'am.
Yes,
But
it is
simply
of
if you are
course
giving the
value.
add-on
It is
certificates in
of
the
course
sense,
get. Yes, of course,
whether
sir.
it is
Thank you.
valid, ma'am. Add-on means whether it is valid, ma'am.
Yeah, so thank you, sir, for that question. So the value added courses are something which are part of your degree. They are not apart from your degree. So they are part of your degree. So along with the degree, they are getting something. They are learning something more. That is what they are asking. What kind of course enrichment opportunities you are giving? ஸோ நீங்க ஒரு டிகிரி கொடுக்குறீங்க அந்த டிகிரியோட சேர்த்து உங்க பையனுக்கு நீங்க என்ன கொடுக்க போறீங்க உனக்கு என்ன கிடைக்குது அப்படின்னு அவங்க வந்து கேக்குறாங்க ஸோ நேக்
Yeah,
won't only
yes. What is the
so
problem
you
with that?
there is no necessity for worrying about the value diploma and certificate programs because in the criterion one, because you are an affiliated college, you don't have much opportunity to score in that area. So for scoring, apart from the regular thing that all the colleges are doing, academic, you should show academic enrichment and academic flexibility. These are two key indicators in criterion one. So for these two key indicators, if you give something, do some value addition to your courses, certainly you will be able to get good scores. And the students will also enjoy enjoy because your lessons are going to be more life oriented.
Okay, ma'am. Then what's the problem with getting approval from university, ma'am? Any criteria that we have to fill, ma'am?
I actually don't know about Madras
Oh,
University.
sorry.
You can ask your
From your university, ma'am, your parent university, what are the
I'm from
criteria that you have to
Bharatadasan
fill, ma'am?
University. I'm from Bharatadasan University. We don't have
Yeah,
any
yeah, I know,
problem
ma'am.
because we are an autonomous institution. So after your first cycle itself, you will find you will have more confidence, and you will automatically go in for autonomy. So once you are in the first cycle, then you will go to autonomy. Then you can grant any degree you want. So that will be very easy for you. So that's all in the
Yeah, ma'am. Our
pipeline.
management also, they are planning for autonomy. We are also planning for autonomy. Our
Yeah, that's
management.
good. That's
So
good, sir.
surely
If you
we'll
have
get it
any,
as early.
yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
You have
Thanks for your patience, ma'am. Thanks for your
Thank you.
patience.
Thank you.
Thanks for your patient reply.
Ma'am, good morning.
Ma'am, yeah.
Sir.
Good morning, ma'am. This is
Yes, sir.
Anandan from BBA department.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, thanks for your valuable information, ma'am. I would like to pose question regarding the campus placement and the students getting placed by themselves, ma'am. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, in that case, whether we will get any points when the students are getting placed by them by their own efforts, ma'am, apart from campus placement.
Yeah.
Because
See.
most of our students they got placed by themselves actually. So in that
Okay.
area, we will get any value added points, ma'am, apart from campus placement.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
Uh,
So whether they are placed through your placement system or
yeah.
whether they are getting placed through some other system,
Okay.
it is important for the institution because after
Hmm.
graduation, where your students are, what is
Okay.
the position where they are landing in. So
Okay.
that is very, very important. That is an important indicator in NAC as well. So when it
Yeah.
comes to student support and progression, the criterion number 5, automatically you will find that the criterion 5 has major components on the placement record of students. So whether they are
Okay.
taking competitive examinations, how many are clearing competitive examinations, all these are important details in criterion
Okay.
5. So
Okay, ma'am.
it doesn't matter whether they are getting placed through you or through
Hmm.
any other agency.
Hmm.
Where are they now? What is your product? So
Hmm.
where are your products landing in? That is what is very, very important.
Okay. So it doesn't mean that only through campus placement it will not be taken into consideration, no, ma'am. So even if they place by themselves, also it has to be taken into
Yes,
consideration.
yes, yes. You have to collect
Okay.
details of all these things.
Okay,
So,
ma'am. Okay.
so the for the complete set, suppose you have a BCom class with 56 students.
Yeah.
All 56 students, what they do after they finish their course, the complete
Okay.
data should be available with you
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Fine.
within
Okay,
one
ma'am.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir. Nisha, can you do me a small favor? Are you connecting through a computer?
Yeah, please tell me, ma'am.
I have shared my presentation, isn't it? Can you just go to my slide? I just
Oh,
share one link and I'll stop there.
1 second, ma'am. We'll try it, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. In the meantime, I can also take some more questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Restart.
Ma'am, this is regarding the geotag photographs that we have to record in our documents.
Yes,
Actually,
sir. Yes, sir.
whether NAC is accepting these geotag photographs taken with the help of apps downloaded from Play Store, something like that. Because previously the records that we have documented in 2018, 19, and
Yeah,
1920, we have not mentioned these geotagging in our
yes, yes.
documentation process.
Yeah, yeah.
So from right now, from this academic year, we have planned to do that. But can we go with the apps that can be downloaded from Play Store?
As of now, NAC has not given any specific guidelines regarding this, but NAC itself has was professing this geotagging of photographs only after 2018. So many of the places where we go for our adopted village schemes, we don't have the geotagging facilities. Networks don't work there. So we do wonderful work, but we are not able to get geotagged photographs in such cases. So we don't neglect those photographs. We take them. If there are, see, the geotagging of photographs is mandatory. Mandatory when you submit the documents and evidences. So when you submit it, maybe you will take another 2 or 3 years to submit, right? So when at the point of submission, you can worry about all these things. Now, as of now, you collect all the photographs, evidences that you have. Even if you don't have geotagged photographs, other details like the invitations or the signed copies of the minutes by all the participating groups, a participant's signature, all these are also additional proofs. So the photographs alone is not a proof. So if you can substantiate the event through other proofs as well, you don't have to worry about geotagging everything. We can do it at a later point of time as well. NAC has not said that they will not accept it if it is done with the app. As of now, there is no regulations from that per se.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello,
Uh,
ma'am. Hello.
yes, yes, ma'am. Dr.
I'm
Kala wants to ask
yeah,
something.
ma'am. Yeah, I'm Dr. Kala from Business Administration Department. Ma'am, you were telling about this add-on.
Ma'am, your voice is very weak.
You are able to hear me? Hello.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Now it's fine.
Yeah, ma'am. You were giving us the information about this add-on courses, no, ma'am. Add-on certificate
Yes,
courses.
yes.
Whether that subject it should be relevant only to the core subject, or it can be apart from the core subject also.
It can be apart from the course. For instance, we also have some courses on bakery, confectionery. We have courses on add-on courses on tie and dye, Python programming.
Yes.
Anything
Yes.
that values to the market, you can take.
Okay, ma'am. Suppose, for example, if I wish, being in business administration department, if I wish my students should know about photography, and suppose if I'm
Yeah,
going on photography subject, my question is whether
certainly.
that should be internal to the college. Like I can go in for my internal my department, like Viscom department, and ask them to take the course, or should I go from outside and hire a person to introduce the course to my college? How it should be?
Yeah, as we say, value addition, we always talk about, across the discipline. So whenever we say value addition, we think about across disciplines coming.
Okay, ma'am. So across disciplines, I can go in internal to my college and get a person and do that course for my students, or should I go from for external sources?
You can also have a resource person. You can,
Okay,
if you have fun, you can collect a nominal amount of fee from the students, 100 rupees per
but I can
student.
also go for my internal sources also,
Yes, both ways you can do.
and we
You
can
have
provide a
internal
certificates
sources.
for the student in our
Yeah,
own.
yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Course, you can give a certificate saying that it is an add-on course. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, do you want me to present your slides?
Yeah, now I'm into. I'll just say one thing. Can take another 5 minutes, Nisha ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I don't know whether what I'm sharing is useful, valuable to you or not. But then I wanted to share these things. Some of the checklist, some of the things as checklist, don't proceed, don't be in a hurry to go for accreditation without completing these things, which I think as the checklist. Just I will present only that. Yeah. So as somebody was asking me about whether I have to document the student graduation, students' position after they graduate, whether they get placed from my institution or from any other through any other agency, whether should I document it or not. So you can very well document it, because these are some of the 5 things which you should just check to find whether your institution is on the growing scale. Like your demand ratio increases, number of applications received across the number of seats available. Demand ratio. Student services, are they improving year after year? Just graph it for the past 5 years and see if it is on the growth phase, right? And the faculty quality, is the quality of the faculty members improving in the 5 years? And what is the graduates doing? What are the graduates and the postgraduates that who are passing out of our institution doing now? Are they, if 5 years back 5 of them got a job, now 20 of them are landing up in good jobs? Is it this, there is an increasing trend? And what is the general perception of the institution? How do the public view your institution? So is the perception improving year by year for the past 5 years? So just take it as a checklist and see. So see that for work for at least 2 to 3 years to have an improving trend in all these 5 things. And then if you go for accreditation, certainly you will go, you will have more than 5 as more than A as your grades. And unless you are not confident, or unless you are not completed all these things, don't start preparing for SSR in a hurry. So only if these 7 things or 5 things or 7 things that I have already told, like implementation part, 7 things starting from feedback and ending it curriculum. So unless you have completed all those 7 and all the 5 things that I told as checklist or on the improving scale, then you go for starting the SSR preparation. Unless you have executed these major changes, don't go in for SSR preparation. Because there is a word of caution that I have to give you here. What can I just say? There is some voice in between. This is because, I wanted to take your attention to this particular figure.
Sir, unmute sir, please. Maybe someone is speaking over there.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Shibi sir, can you mute? Mr. Yam Roda or somebody?
Brother. You can unmute them, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, so look at this figure. Like now we said that 800 plus institutions entered, 834 colleges entered to accreditation. And see these figures, number of IAQAs received in 2017 to 19. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, 17 to 19, some 2000 and odd institutions actually submitted their IAQA. So out of the 2000 institutions, you find there are rejections of IAQAs, and you see here number of institutions who have not filled the SSR are 500. So 25% of the colleges which submit the IAQA are not able to complete the SSR, because only after submitting the IAQA they get to know that there are so many glitches in SSR and there are some major things that they have not yet completed. So only at that point of time they realize things are going out of their hand and out of control, like the pandemic situation that was going out of control of the government's hand. So let that not happen for any institution. So that is why I am giving you this word of caution. Unless you have made these major changes, what I said as these 7 important things that you have to do before your accreditation, unless you have gone for these 7 major implementation steps, don't be in a hurry to submit your IAQA or your SSR. So these 7 things. So if you do that, I don't think there is this is some caution I thought I should give to the institution, because all is not rosy. Okay, so I should not always give you a rosy picture and leave you half the way. And so I thought, and third important thing I wanted to tell you is, please carry everyone along in your team. So give some role and responsibility for every faculty in your institution. Let them all be roped in. Nobody should be underestimated. At the same time, nobody should be overloaded. Give responsibility to the junior most, to the senior most, so that a work is shared and everybody feels part of the team and are included. So please never leave the whole process to the IQAC and think that it is the IQAC's headache. And the IQAC will certainly not be able to do it. Even though you have a super, like a superhero team as IQAC, you will certainly not be able to do it. Now, at the 4th cycle of accreditation, we are going into, even in the 4th cycle, we have roped in almost 500 plus faculty members in the institution. All 500 of them have some role to play in. Okay, and then where to start? That is one question that always people ask. You start with the SWOC. Start with SWOC analysis of the departments. Start with SWOC analysis in teams, in committees, in organizations, in expert committees, in the management side. So start with the SWOC. That is where you should really start with. And that is where the self-evaluation process will be interesting, will be fruit-bearing, will be helpful for the whole institution. So all these things that I have shared is what I have seen for the past 3 accreditation cycles for my own institution. If the 3 accreditation cycles, through the 3 accreditation cycles and from working in this 4th cycle, what we have learned in our institutions from my own experience and observation, I have shared with you. Hope the same way, same thing will also work for you. And I stop here. Please remember 3 things. The 7 things, major challenges and changes that you have to implement. The checklist, 5 things that you have to do. and before you do what you have to, before you start the NAC process and SSR process, what you have to do. So I'll just conclude with this. I personally believe, this is not a quote I have taken from anywhere, I just framed it myself. All institutions have weaknesses. We can turn them into strengths. All institutions have threats. We can turn them into opportunities. All institutions can either grow or shrink. You closely follows all the colleges or hospitals or institutions. When they begin, some institutions create a big hitch, and slowly, gradually, they shrink. They become invisible in due course. Some institutions grow gradually. When they began, they were very small and they grow in leaps and bounds over the years. So all institutions can grow or shrink. And every one of us in the institution who are part of the institutions, we either add to the growth or add to the shrinking. We either deduce the growth or we deduce the shrinking. What can we do as members of the faculty, as the nerve center of the education in the country? What are we going to do and how are we going to take our institution ahead depends in our hands. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Nisha, the IQAC team, and the principal, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Hope I have given enough that you may need today. Maybe right dose or overdose, I don't know. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable presentation. Surely we Thomasians will work with holistic approach towards the process of NAC.
Yes, thank you.
As we have come to the end of the end of the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you can proceed, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, sir. As we have come to the end of the session, now I invite Mr. Shibi Mathai, IQAC coordinator, to deliver his vote of thanks.
Respected and our most distinguished chief guest of the day, Professor Dr. Angeline Veda, Associate Dean, IQAC, Associate Professor, PG and Research Department of Chemistry, Bishop Heber College, Trichy. Respected Principal Dr. N. Thangavel, and my dear colleagues. I deem it a great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us in making this webinar a resounding success. First of all, my sincere thanks to the Almighty God for making today's event a grand success. I would like to express my gratitude to our resource person, Professor Dr. Angeline Veda, for gracing today's webinar with her eminent presence and guidance. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path to notch up our accreditation goal. I would like to express our profound gratitude to our principal, Dr. N. Thangavel, for his guidance and support in this webinar. I offer my gratefulness to Dr. J. Gerlin Violet, Head Department of Business Administration, Shift 2, for gracing the event with a prayer. This type of event cannot happen overnight. It requires planning and bird's eye for detail. I owe my sincere gratitude to Mrs. J. Nisha Daphne, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Shift 1, for her ebullient and sincere cooperation in the organization of this event. I am very much thankful to Mr. S.H. Sheikh Mohammed, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronic Media, Shift 1, for his knack in designing such a beautiful invitation and certificate for this event. Finally, I thank all my colleagues because we wouldn't have pulled this event without your support. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shibi sir. And I thank each and every one of you for participating here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Angeline Veda ma'am, for your valuable presence with us.
Thank you, Veda madam. Thank you, Shibi sir. Thank you, Nisha madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Your presentation was very wonderful. And definitely our faculties might be very useful for using your presentation.
Indeed.
They will be
Thank you,
very,
sir.
Recording
Thank you
good.
very
very
useful
much,
for
sir.
them.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thanks a lot, dear professors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shri sir.
Hmm.